Hi, Dana. Well, there have been very few presidential warnings in history as sobering as the first 6 words of that Truth Social post. A whole civilization will die today. And sobering is the point of this. President Trump saying he is not pushing back this 8 p.m. deadline as he had pushed back deadlines before, that Iran has had more than enough time to come to their senses, to come to a deal and open up the Strait of Hormuz. Speaking from the briefing room podium yesterday, the president said that he still has interest and optimism in coming to a diplomatic resolution.
I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith. We're going to find out. We're getting the help of some incredible countries that want this to be ended because it affects them also. A lot of people are affected by this, but we're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern.
So 8 Eastern, that is 3:30 a.m. Tehran time. The president does not want them to sleep on that deadline. And following through with this threat of decimation to Iranian power plants, that is what is promised here. It's something the president said that he will do if necessary, but doesn't want to, especially if the U.S. has to extend a hand in eventually helping Iran rebuild.
I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We may even get involved with helping them rebuild their nation. And you know what? If that's the case, the last thing we want to do is start with power plants, which are among the most expensive things.
Now, the president yesterday dismissing any criticism that targeting civilian infrastructure would amount to a war crime. He says, given these stakes at hand, that just would not apply. Meanwhile, Iranian officials via state TV are urging young people, civilians in their country, to create these human chains and human shields around power plants. But, with that Truth Social post, I think there's a psychological element to that. The president's trying to speak directly to those who are potentially in Iranian emerging leadership, who he has called reasonable, telling them to take this moment, utilize it, and prove that to be the case of them being reasonable.
Hey, guess what day? It's power plant day.
I'm gonna bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care.
It's a very serious day, Jerry. It's a very serious topic, and I am still quite sick. So I can't handle it. I can't handle that. I can't handle that. I can't handle that meme, Jerry. Thank you for bringing a little bit of levity to what will be a very interesting day. This is Power Plant and Bridge Day. President Trump this morning saying he's going to decimate the entire civilization of Iran. I'll just say this as a Christian because we don't know what's going to happen, right? We're not sure what's going to happen. I just gotta say this, blessed are the peacemakers. I pray for peace here. That's my prayer. I said it publicly this morning and I'll say it right now and again. I pray for peace. We wish to be an uplifting movement and a movement that obviously shows the potential of Western civilization and Christendom and the words of Christ. And so let's go there right now this morning. Matthew 5:9, start of the show. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God, from Jesus Christ on the Sermon on the Mount. This is what I pray happens. Both J.D. Vance and senior administration officials are saying that Iran is efforting a deal right now to be made with the United States of America. And I pray that happens. We don't know what's going to happen. President Trump has promised today at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that the entire nation will effectively be sent back to the Stone Age. That's every bridge gone, every power plant out. I'm not here to debate that. I'm really not, because, well, quite frankly, it's not up for me to debate. It's just not. I'm not in the briefing room. I'm not in. I don't have the security clearances. I haven't been making these decisions. It's not really my battle. And let me just say this definitively, from the perspective of this program, the longtime perspective of this program, I don't want these battles. And that's not what today's show is about. Today's show is about Eric Swalwell and about, something that's wild here domestically that's spiraling completely out of control and may make for a Republican governorship in California. So we're going to talk about that today on the show, but I just want to get this off my chest. Our battle is not Sunni and Shia. It's not Israel or Qatar. that's never been what I wanted America First to be about. I mean, even like some of the stuff that's done in our own hemisphere, I kind of like, I kind of think it's almost more permissible to say like Venezuela is a couple miles away, Cuba's a couple miles away. We should control our own hemisphere. But even beyond that, like focusing inward on our borders, that's MAGA. That's America First. The pothole on my street is more important than making a new pothole in the Middle East. This has been the opinion of this show. There are obviously a lot of traps that have been laid in the Middle East for every great civilization. From Alexander to Napoleon, the Middle East is to the British Empire. The Middle East becomes a trap for great empires. The Greeks, I mean, the Romans, the crucifixion of Christ. How many empires must fall in this sandpit, this oblivion? I don't want that to be us. I pray for peace. And we have a voice, and we have a show, and we have like a modicum of influence. And we're trying our level-headed best to not, light ourselves on fire, to not, it's like veer wildly and fly off the cliff in either direction, but to stay steady on, try and keep a coalition together, pray that spells are broken, that coalition, that won us this unbelievable victory in 2020. I mean, truly, like a God-inspired victory, God saving President Trump's life in front of all of us, that wins the day. That is the energy that wins the day. And a final note here. No American election ever has been won based on foreign entanglements, ever. Not even World War II. Yeah, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was about to lose multiple elections during World War II. Huey defeats Truman. I mean, it's famous for a reason. Right? Truman was his vice president. FDR died. What about World War II? Didn't we like it so much? Actually, no. The American people didn't want to be in World War II. That's a fact. That's a matter of historic fact. We didn't want to be in World War I. Civil War, also something that could have been settled through peaceful means. I think that it's hard to justify really any war in American history, except for the Revolutionary War, to start our nation. I think you can make like a sound and thoughtful argument for blessed are the peacemakers in almost every conflict. But wars have been the undoing of American administrations, whether it's Woodrow Wilson, FDR, all the administrations that fomented the Vietnam War, which led to just the abyss, George W. Bush. These entanglements, the Korean War, which was garbage as well. These entanglements, are the undoing of great civilizations and great empires. Ask the British, ask the Romans, ask the Greeks. You can't even ask the Romans anymore. They don't exist. At least not in the sense of Rome. So Roman Empire, it's gone. And so, a reason why I'm praying for peace is that the wars can be the undoing of an administration. The wars, virtually always, are the undoing of an administration. No reason that Clinton should have won in '92. George H.W. Bush, gotta go to Iraq. Dude, why? Peace, though, wins. Reagan won in landslides based on peace and bringing peace. Peace wins. War loses. And so we pray for peace. Ultimately, what peace signals is that we care about the people here more than the people over there. We care about the flourishing of the people here rather than killing of the people over there. And I think that's a critical and important message to send. And it is a moral message for any leader of any nation. If we would have such a different country if our leaders just cared about our country more over the course of my lifetime. And I'm pushing 40. And we've like in the course of my lifetime, I don't know, when was the last president that like really put like the betterment of the American people absolutely first? This is why I pray for the Trump administration. Because this is the America First movement. That is the goal of the America First movement. Cheap gas, cheap groceries, affordable housing, Americans flourishing, heritage Americans having children, continuing our great culture, and a culture that's, is a culture of the zenith, pinnacle of Western civilization and Christendom and what it can build. That's what we're defending. That's what we're creating here. And so just like a couple thoughts off the top of the dome, right? When it comes to, bridge and power plant day in Iran, why I'm praying for peace. Why I'm praying for peace, ladies and gentlemen. This Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. Eric Swalwell is in deep trouble again. Trump sends a final warning to Iran. Sheriff Bianco, who is running for governor in California, will join the program. Congressman Greg Stubie and Mark Geist of the Benghazi raid will be joining the show, all live today. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Masa chips, ladies and gentlemen, they are something that brings me a bit of comfort. As you can tell, I've been wrestling with these questions, and you need a little comfort. I had some comfort food last night. I'm sick. I have a million little children. I get sick. And my vaccinated friends' children visit, and that's always something special straight from public school. Ugh. Anyway, live healthy. Live healthy. Masa chips is how you live healthy, ladies and gentlemen. With three ingredients only, right? Corn and salt and beef tallow. You'll be feeling good because you'll be eating the way that God intended it for you to eating all natural ingredients. No bloat, no drag afterwards. You feel good, nice and crisp and delicious, ladies and gentlemen. Barbecue, smokehouse barbecue is my favorite flavor. Ready to give Masa a try? Go to masachips.com/Benny. Use the code Benny for 25% off your first order. Simply click on the video description, QR code right there, masachips.com. Okay. Eric Swalwell will face harassment charges. Oh, no. Eric Swalwell was already freaking out over the Fang Fang Bang Bang release files potentially to be released soon. But now it turns out that we won't even need to see those files to destroy Eric Swalwell's career. Eric Swalwell will soon face a slew of sexual harassment allegations from former staffers and left-wing activists. Oh, okay. It's always the guys that you most expect, actually. Guys who crap themselves on live TV. Eric Swalwell is running for governor of California. He's odds on to be the Democrat nominee. Now, our friends, Sheriff Bianco and Steve Hilton, are both in the lead, actually, technically. And Steve Hilton just got the Trump endorsement yesterday. But I'm telling you, this is going to cook Eric Swalwell. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Eric Swalwell will soon face a slew of sexual harassment allegations from credible women that worked for him, according to the leader of a left-wing advocacy group, Gen Z for Change, who says that she has been personally working with the women to expose a pattern of manipulation and abuse of power. The group's executive director, by the way, I'll just say it right here. This is why Charlie Kirk always had body men with him. So that nobody could ever make up these kind of allegations about it. There were always witnesses everywhere. Just be smart. Every single time we have somebody on our program who is really read in, like Tim Burchett, this is literally how they get you. Tony Gonzalez, we had Brandon Herrera on. Tony Gonzalez, such a scumbag in Congress. He has allegations like this with the text messages to back it up. Anthony Weiner, if you want to rewind the clock back a decade. Dude, since the dawn of time, since Samson and Delilah, the downfall of all rulers and leaders, since David, this is how you know it's all spiritual, frankly. Anyway, let's go ahead and look here. What is it? The group's executive director, Cheyenne Hunt, detailed the impending allegations against Swalwell, who's running for governor of California. He's leading all the Democrats. In a series of social media posts, her original video was posted on Instagram in late March. It cited texts from women. Eric Swalwell has slept with many of his interns and makes them all sign NDAs so they don't speak up. Oh, what a scumbag. When I was 19, he tried hitting on me and sliding into my DMs And I have so many friends with similar experiences. Oh, no. This is not an anomaly. It's part of a pattern. Hunt posted up a follow-up video titled Why I Came Forward about Eric Swalwell, personally working with the women who want to come forward with their stories and be aware of a much larger group. Oh, no. Eric Swalwell is not available for comment. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the career ender for Swalwell. Amazing how sleeping with the Chinese spy was not the career ender. Democrat Party, that's just assumed. That's how you get. That's how you fund your campaign. These campaigns are expensive. Of course, we need Chinese yen. Of course, we need the Chinese to fund it. Some of the commentary here from Anna Paulina Luna. If this is true, it's horrifying. He should be added to the freaks and weirdos currently in Congress. Can you stop molesting your staff? It's unacceptable, illegal, and gross. Here is the commentary. ALX, should we have a listen here to what these allegations are? And then in a moment, in just 1 minute, we'll have one of the opponents of Eric Swalwell joining the program live. The great sheriff Chad Bianco, who will detail all of this. Alex, what are the allegations here? Do we not have the Instagram video?
Questions about why I decided to make public comments about allegations of sexual harassment against Eric Swalwell before a major news outlet published the story. So let me be as clear and transparent about that as I safely can be. I am personally working with a group of women who want to come forward and share their stories. I am also aware of a much larger group that is also in this process that I am not personally working with. We have secured pro bono legal representation for them, and they are in the process of sharing their information with major outlets while ensuring that their legal and physical safety is protected. That process takes time, but the number of credible women who have come forward since I posted my first video is really shocking, and all of them moving forward together has greatly expedited the timeline of this whole process. I got deeply involved because, like I said in my first video, I had heard these rumors for years, going back to the time when I was working on the Hill. But the first person who approached me with their story was a close personal friend of mine. Then, once I started digging into it and I found that there were a number of other women whose stories matched the same pattern of manipulation and abuse of power, I knew that I couldn't stay silent because these women needed to know that if they came forward, there was a group of people that would have their back. I understand that people want as much information as possible about these women, their stories, their identities, and the proof to back this all up.
Ladies and gentlemen, some of those who are in the business of corroborating and putting these allegations together are losing it online. Here we go. Yeah, I'm going to be so real with you. Swalwell is a rap. These are from Democrat activists, by the way. This is not from the right, who've also been calling for the destruction of Eric Swalwell's career, but not like this. I can't believe it. This is from the far left. Okay, here we go. Listen to this. I've seen what I need to see. He isn't going to sue anybody over talking about this because Discovery would kick his ass. Why this man ran for governor is beyond me. And now look at these latest polls. You have Eric Swalwell's chances collapsing through the center of the earth. Whoa. Eric Swalwell's chance to become the next governor has now collapsed as Democrat activists say shocking number of women are about to accuse him of harassment and come forward and talk about what a monster he is. Again, it's always the people that you most expect. Something that I found particularly rich in all of this is how Eric Swalwell was one of these guys who constantly was actually it's the Maze account I was looking for, constantly out talking about how bad Donald Trump is, right, and how evil guys like Brett Kavanaugh was. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Opens his statement and says, you know what? Bring in all the victims, allow them to be heard, allow them to be questioned. That will clear his name if he's indeed innocent. And if he's not, for the sake of the credibility of the court, I hope that the senators would vote against him. It's very easy to isolate one incident and, shine inaccuracies or inconsistencies on that case. But the more and more cases that are separate and independent that look the same, pretty soon a prosecutor starts to say to a jury, and this is not a jury, but it's It's allegations that the arrows are pointing in the same direction. And what are the chances that 3 or 4 women independently who never met each other would have similar experiences with one person?
Oh, wow. Well, that's amazing. Is he talking about himself? No, he's talking about Brett Kavanaugh here. It's remarkable how it's like a constant biblical truth in all of this, that the weapons that we form will be used against us. Commenting yesterday about the incredible mission to save our airman who's stranded in the hills in Iran. Somebody who we were excited to talk to about this is Congressman Greg Stubie. And well, maybe we can get the sheriff back. We did fix our problem. As we have said, ladies and gentlemen, we had a crew member who had a personal emergency this morning. We wanted to hit our live time. And so now we are set, locked, ready, and back in action with Greg Stubie, Congressman Greg Stubie here from Florida, also a veteran who's joining us live right now. Congressman, welcome back to the show. Thank you very much for being with us. Tell me about Bridge Day and Power Plant Day and what Americans can expect. You know the president really, really well. What's going to happen tonight?
Well, I think for context, we just need to take a step back and kind of explain how evil the Iranian regime is. So I served in Iraq 06-07 with the 25th Infantry Division, and Soleimani and the Iranians were responsible for all the IEDs that killed over 600 of our service members during that period of time. They also funded Hezbollah, which are shooting rockets and killing innocent civilians as we speak. Last couple of days, they killed 4 people in the northern part of Israel. They fund Hamas, and the huge tragedy of October 7th, where they went in and murdered children and babies and innocent civilians and murdered people at a party and all of these things, these terrible atrocities. So you hear the left say, oh, Trump can't blow up bridges. Those are civilian infrastructure. He can't blow up, power plants. Well, if they're supporting the terrorist regime, if the terrorist regime is using these bridges to move around, if they're using these power plants to fund terrorism and fund the different things that they're using to launch rockets at innocent people, then absolutely it is a legitimate military target. Being somebody who served in the military, who was a JAG, who actually made ROE decisions for commanders, who gave advice as to what we could target and what we could not target, it's interesting to hear from the left that suddenly certain targets are off the table because they think it's civilian in nature, when these very people are murdering civilians, have murdered civilians for decades, going back like 47 years. Even at the time that I served in Iraq, they were murdering service members who were just driving down the road trying to protect people in Iraq. So it's kind of interesting to hear this, this is all illegal and unlawful. And so what you're seeing is, I think the president obviously being very frustrated that they're not willing to open the Strait of Hormuz, is going to target things that are going to be devastating to those military operations that are reliant upon certain bridges to transport like drones and weapons and ballistic missiles that they're moving around, to target energy infrastructure that the Iranian IRGC is using to then target and fund their military operations. So it's kind of interesting to see all this argument on the left that what Trump may or may not do, he's just saying what he wants to do, is suddenly a legal violation of the law of war. And I just don't see it that way.
So do you believe that there's going to be some type of treaty reached or peace agreement or some type of ceasefire? Or do you believe that the administration is going to go ahead with this? Do you have any information from the ground?
Yeah, I don't have any information, but what I will tell you is these people are terrorists. The Iranian regime constantly lies. They've lied for decades. They've lied about their nuclear capabilities and their nuclear development. They've lied about their ballistic missile capabilities, even as recent as the last 6 months or so, talking to Secretary Rubio about where their ballistic missiles could and could not go. And then they launched one at one of our bases that were like thousands of miles away. And suddenly, oh, well, the Iranians actually have the capability to hit the continental Europe and some of our bases in Germany. So you can't believe anything the Iranians are going to say. I think the president and Marco and our administration have worked tirelessly to try to come up with some type of diplomatic solution to this. but you, one, can't trust them, and two, they won't agree to give up their nuclear ambitions. They won't agree to give up their ICBM ambitions. They won't agree to give up their intercontinentalistic ballistic missiles. So you have a problem when they have the ability to launch attacks against our service members and launch attacks against our allies in the region. So I don't foresee there being a deal in the next 24 hours.
So I wanted to get, as a veteran and as somebody who's obviously forward deployed, like, what is your, what was your initial reaction to reading through what happened this weekend with the saving of the airmen trapped in the wilderness in Iran, deep behind enemy lines? It's possibly the most impressive rescue operation I've ever heard of. Maybe the most successful military operation in American history. Your thoughts?
Yeah, there will be movies made about what happened to rescue that airman, that pilot, the backseater. I mean, our military capabilities have always been impressive, but to be able to go that deep into enemy territory, to use the type of assets. I mean, you had the CIA working with our defense industry, working with the Air Force, working with our special forces, working with CENTCOM, SOCOM, to go in, identify where he was located, the technological capabilities of that alone, to know where he was, to be able to get a mission to go in, and all of the different assets from both he's over here, trying to deceptively convince the Iranians that he was at a different location, to going in and actually doing the operation. And, oh, by the way, yeah, we lost some military equipment, but not a single casualty on our side. Hundreds of soldiers that went in to get this guy. One, it shows that we will never leave a fallen comrade, ever, which we always pushed that. When I was in the infantry, when I was in the Army, that was always something you knew. If you ever got captured, or if something ever happened, you knew that your brothers and sisters in arms were going to come and get you. So again, we solidified that to every single person that serves in our military, that we will not leave you behind, even if it's hundreds of miles in enemy territory. We will use every resource of our military to come and get you. And then the technical strategic operation of actually being able to go in and accomplish that mission without a single casualty is there will be movies written and seen about this in a couple of years, I'm sure, about how awesome this was that we were able to go in and get him out.
Yeah, we very much look forward to Chris Pratt. I'm not sure exactly like which Hollywood actors I would want to. Pretty much just take the Top Gun movie, right?
Yeah,
Top Gun Maverick. This is the same. Everyone always said there was Iran that they were talking about in that film, and then you have two pilots that are down behind enemy lines. We just needed them to steal an F-14 Tomcat, and you can complete the entire narrative arc of Top Gun Maverick. Congressman, what about these brand new allegations against Eric Swalwell? Eric Swalwell allegedly is going to have a deluge of sexual harassment allegations made by former staffers against him. The allegations stem from inappropriate touching to sleeping with staff members. Some young women, 19 years old, saying this. Obviously, we're going to wait to see what actually materializes here. But these are some pretty serious left-wing allegations by left-wing activist groups that are blowing the whistle on Eric Swalwell and his activity. Have you ever heard anything about Eric Swalwell, like, from this perspective? And what will
other
happen
than
next?
Fang, no, yeah. I haven't heard of anything. But what is interesting to me is the level of hypocrisy from Democrats. Here's a Democrat that, rallied to release the Epstein files, voted to release the Epstein files. And I thought what was interesting recently, his lawyers sent a letter to Kash Patel. I saw it on X, so I'm sure your folks can pull it up. So his lawyers send a letter to Kash Patel refusing to be transparent about the investigation as it related to Fang and a Chinese spy, because there was talk from A.G. Bondi and from Kash Patel. I guess there was some informant from the FBI that said that they were going to release these files. And so a letter from his lawyers to the FBI director saying, you absolutely cannot release these files. It's a violation of his rights. It's a violation of federal law. If you read the letter, they make all of these legal assertions that if you release these files and be transparent with the American people, we're going to sue you. So he wants transparency for the Epstein files, but he surely doesn't want transparency as it relates to a case that directly involved him. and the information that would be transparent to the American people. So it's kind of interesting when you read the letter from his lawyers to the FBI director that they're going to get sued if they release this information.
Really quickly here, you've been one of these members of Congress who's constantly called for people to drop out if they've behaved criminally or immorally, including but not limited to members of the Florida delegation who embezzled FEMA funds, Ilhan Omar. What say you about Eric Swalwell if it does turn out that he was preying on young staffers, and we know he has a predilection for this? This is what the Fang saga is all about. What should happen to him?
Well, those women, once whoever they are, they should file an investigative report and a complaint with the ethics committee, and then the ethics committee does an investigation, and then the House as a body can hold him accountable for whatever he did or did not do. That's the process. That's the way it should happen. I've respected that with Sheila McCormick in Florida as it relates to this $5 million she stole like 2 years ago. The investigation's gone on for 2 years, but I respected the ethics committee, their process, their investigation. She's now been found guilty of 25 of 27 different charges against her. And when we get back, the ethics committee will meet and determine a recommendation for what should happen to her. She stole $5 million of taxpayer dollars. I can't think that they won't recommend she be expelled. And then I'll call up a motion to have her expelled. We have a higher level of accountability, and the ethics committee is charged with the responsibility of doing that. So these women that allege something occurred should file a complaint with the ethics committee and let them investigate it. It doesn't sound like he'll be around. I guess he's running. I don't know if in California you can run for governor and run for Congress at the same time. You can't do that in Florida. So it may be mute, but they should file a complaint with the ethics committee, and then all of that factual basis and that information, once the investigation is done, will be released to the public.
Do you believe that if he's found, if he's found to be preying on congressional staff, that he should drop out of Congress, that he should be potentially kicked out of Congress?
Yeah, that's a violation of our ethical obligations. It's very clear that you can't have relationships with people who work for you, and there should be accountability for that.
Okay. And what about the governor's race? You're a politician, you know the dynamics of these things. And you can, I guess, suppose you run in Florida, but you can suppose what it's like in California. I think this is a career killer if these do play out.
Yeah, you would think. I don't remember who else is running in that race, but you would certainly think. But again, it's California. I mean, they elected Gavin Newsom, and the things that they do in California are definitely not like what we do here in the free state of Florida. So it'll be interesting to watch it play out, and whether Democrats think that that's something that makes him unable to get elected governor over there. But we'll see. It's California, so crazy things happen over there.
Okay. You never heard any rumors like this of Swalwell in the House? Have you heard anything like this?
No, nope. I'm not in the rumor mill. So
yeah, that's right. Not in the crews that you hang. That is a huge mark to your credit, Congressman, that you do not hang out with Eric Swalwell. So well done. You've saved yourself a lot of trouble. The congressman, I've actually seen the congressman on a plane headed back to his district. That's where he likes to live, here in the beautiful western side of Florida, in God's country, truly, and getting out of the swamp. This is where the congressman likes to spend his time.
I am only in the swamp as little as I have to be to vote, and then I get home.
That's right.
To the free state of Florida.
Thank you very much, Congressman. Godspeed, and we'll be praying for our troops tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you, Benny.
The redemption arc and an apology from us to Sheriff Chad Bianco. He joins us live once again right now. It is our fault. We are moving studios. We've built a new studio. We were going to announce this at a different time, but we've built a new studio, and we had a broken microphone here in the studio. We actually were able to do a full swap out of that in the time that we played a quick clip. We fixed it. We apologize to the sheriff. He's joining us live right now. We have him ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, wait. Okay, of course, classic. Team, tell me when. We have the sheriff, but I'll explain to you. We are moving studio. We were going to announce this at a different time, but we have built a brand new studio with a ton of new functions. We're very excited about it. We're in the middle of a studio migration right now and moving everything. And so what that did was it actually messed with our microphone setup here. And having a busted mic is what caused a audio problem earlier in the show. And so we apologize to the sheriff. We apologize to you as an audience for that. We wish to deliver excellence in every single broadcast, and we're sorry that we didn't deliver in the first couple minutes of the show. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The redemption arc from our mistake. Sheriff Chad Bianco joining us live right now. Sheriff, we've built a brand new studio, and so we apologize. We had an errant microphone that corrupted the last broadcast. We apologize for that. You're loud and clear now.
That's quite all right. Good, very good.
Loud and clear now. So Sheriff, Eric Swalwell, did you know about this? Is this a rumor? Did people know that this was happening behind the scenes?
I think it's been rumored out there for a long time, and it's not like controversy, especially with women, haven't followed him throughout his career. The bad part about putting people in power who have no morals and have no integrity or ethics, these are the things that happen. And telling a woman that they have to sign an NDA to put up with being victimized is absolutely morally wrong.
Yep, the sheriff's got a phone call there. Yep, good, Sheriff. All right. What did
I lose you, Benny?
Yep, we got you back though, loud and clear. What should happen next? Should Eric Swalwell drop out?
Benny,
yep.
I think I lost you.
Okay, we can reconnect here. It's just one of those shows, ladies and gentlemen. We can reconnect. We're just going to do it live. I'm just going to wait. We're going to be patient. We're going to let the production team reconnect with the sheriff. And we're not gonna lose this one. We got a live one on the line. We're not gonna lose it. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll reconnect with the sheriff here in just one moment. God bless all of you for sticking with us. What a morning for Blackout Coffee. The Blackout Coffee. It fills my mug every single morning, and we needed our coffee this morning. Blackout Coffee is made right here in the great state of Florida. Blackout Coffee is made by people who love freedom, that want to give you the energy to fight the communists, and the communists are at the city gate and inside of the walls. Quite frankly, Blackout Coffee is how I power ourselves every morning, especially mornings like this when not only am I sick, but also we're having technical difficulties as we move our studios. We thank you for sticking with us. We thank Blackout Coffee for being a longtime supporter of the program. You can get Blackout Coffee today. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Use the code Benny for 20% off your first order. That's blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Support American jobs and celebrate 250 years of freedom. Drink Blackout Coffee today. It tastes incredible, and every sip feels like fighting the communists. I have some right now. All right, let me know when the sheriff is back on. If the sheriff is back on, we toss him over. Otherwise, team, what are we looking at? Yeah, okay. So we got a phone call from the sheriff. It looks like this is what happens sometimes when you're doing the hit from your phone, and the phone call disconnects. All right. So production team, just going to need direction here. Should we head on over to Mark Oz Geist? Yep. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are really honored to have a guest on who is a absolute legend. Mark Geist is a Marine veteran. He's the survivor of the 2012 Benghazi terrorist attack. He's somebody who can truly speak to what it's like to be left behind. As a retired U.S. Marine, he co-authored the 13 Hours Benghazi attack timeline that was turned into an unbelievable movie, and one of the best movies I think ever made. Quite frankly, it'll make your blood boil. He provides absolute clarity and insight into how things can go wrong when the leadership in Washington, D.C. is not decisive and is not supporting the troops. And so it is a great honor to have Mark live on the show right now. Mark, thank you so much for joining us. We deeply appreciate your insight into what happened over the last 72 hours in Iran and how perilous this mission was. We've spent the entire show sort of detailing the differences between Benghazi and this mission, but we weren't there and you were. And so perhaps you could elucidate for our audience, what are the differences between this Iran rescue and what you experienced in Benghazi?
Biggest and best part of it is that the difference is that we had an administration that wasn't afraid to go in and send in whatever it took to make sure that we bring home our guys alive.
So you believe that the difference is the leadership in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, most definitely. Both in the White House as well as at State Department. You have two people there that are willing to make the hard decisions and put forth the efforts that need to be put forth when men and women of this country are at peril.
What was it like in Benghazi? I know that I've seen the movie. I've seen it a couple times. I've read the book. I cannot encourage you enough to go back and read it. I think that, quite frankly, there's a reason why Hillary Clinton isn't president today, and that this is it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Benghazi was more significant, I think, than what people realize is not only what happened there at Benghazi, but from the investigation that ensued. Because that investigation what happened in Benghazi is where they found out that she had the email server, the private email server that she was doing government business on. And I think the two of those together are what really pushed the American people into coming out and voting for President Trump.
What was it like being abandoned there? What did that feel like? Can you tell us that first person perspective, to just have all the hours tick by and you're just under constant attack, you're being hunted to the death, and nobody's there to help you?
And I think I maybe look at it different than what a lot of people would. Is at that time when you're in the fight, you're not thinking about being left behind. You're just thinking about taking care of business and making sure that the guys and gals to your left and right and those that you're protecting make it home safe. And our team was willing to do whatever it took to make sure that they got home safe. And that was our mission at that time. If they weren't going to send stuff, then that would have been great. But if they don't, then you know what? We're going to fight till the last person and make sure that the people that we're protecting make it home to their families.
Yes. But you felt completely and totally abandoned by the Obama administration and Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, we were. I mean, and to me, and it's not a surprise. I mean, I was a private military contractor that worked for the CIA. There's the bottom, there's where whales swim, and then there's the ocean floor. We're usually down on the ocean floor when it comes to priority of survival.
It's horrible. Can you contrast that? Like, can you contrast what you experienced, which is inaction at best, total and complete paralysis and inaction, when America could have come in and truly, very aggressively supported you? Can you contrast that with what you witnessed from the operation this weekend?
Well, that's what's amazing about the operation that happened this weekend is, to me, looking back into 1979 when we sent Delta Force, or the beginnings of Delta Force, into Iran to rescue the hostages that were taken. They flew deep into Iran. Aircraft ended up getting damaged, so they couldn't complete their mission. They had to pull back out. Well, dusting off that plan and coinciding that with what happened to O'Grady, a pilot who got shot down in Bosnia in the 90s, those two things were put together. The plans that rescued him and the plan that happened then, I think, were melded together and is what really put it all together. Because, we went in deep into territory. We built an airport, basically. We landed aircraft. From there, we deployed special operations units to go in and where he was actually at, pull him out, get him back, and pull things out. I mean, it was amazing that it happened and that it was so well. And I mean, hats off to the people that planned it, the people that executed it. And it just shows you the capabilities of America with the right leadership, the American military people.
Yes. Do you believe, Mark, that, I know this is a tough question, but do you believe that American lives would have been saved if President Trump had been president during Benghazi?
I do. I don't know that it would have made a difference with the ambassador and Sean and his assistant that got killed. But it definitely would have made a difference on whether or not that Sean or Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty would have got killed next to me. Because, that's from 8 hours, 10 hours when by the time we got by the time I got injured, it was about 5 o'clock in the morning when the final attack happened, and they lobbed in 81 millimeter mortars that landed on our building and went through me and killed Ty and Glenn that were standing next to me.
What is your message to the troops? I mean, you've obviously seen an enormous amount of combat, risk your life for your country. There's a tumultuous time out there. As a seasoned veteran, as somebody who's put your life at risk, what is your message to the troops and to the regular Americans who's sort of watching from the sidelines here?
Trust your leadership, especially the leadership we have right now, and the leadership that we have in the Department of War, because that's where it's going to happen. We're going to take care of our people. We've seen it time and again from this president, from this administration, and know that you are fighting and protecting the greatest country in the world. And you're just one apparatus of that, because what we have is warfare in a different way now is being orchestrated by this administration, whether it be through the tariffs and it be trade warfare, whether it be through what's going on in Iran, both the direct action, but then the indirect action and what is happening. The Straits of Hormuz and how Lloyd's of London has always been the shipping insurance company. Well, now that the Straits are backed up and Lloyd's of London doesn't want to insure shipping going through there, President Trump has come out and said that he is open to doing that, and we insure that, which Lloyd's of London has always insured global maritime shipping, and that control could be taken from the from them and then put into the hands of the United States. Just empowers us, broadens us into a greater a greater country than what we are. And then we also have to look back at what it's doing to China. You have the Belt Road Initiative that runs right through Iran, that runs through the Caspian Sea. All of this coincides. It's not just isolated to what's going on in Iran right now. And all these things that are taking place have to be taken into consideration on what happens in Iran is going to affect what goes on in Africa, yes, what goes on in China, how China responds, and how we can degrade China's influence in the world.
Will you help with the screenwriting potentially for turning this one into a movie? It'd be a pretty incredible arc, Mark, if you could do the 13 Hours movie, plus whatever we would want to title that in Iran, I guess 72 hours. I mean, crazy, man.
I think, here's something about that is what's amazing is Good Friday is when they got shot down, and we
Ladies and gentlemen, hey, Mark. Hey, are you still with me? Yep,
sure.
Sorry about that. You froze for just a moment. Could you continue that thought, Mark?
Yeah, because so on Good Friday we they went missing and were shot down, but on Resurrection Day we were able to bring him home.
That's right.
I think there's a correlation there.
That's right. Exactly. Yes, there is. That God is real and he's still moving in the world, and that perhaps he has a sense of rhyme and humor and a mathematical equation that sort of unites everything, and that he's asking us to see these patterns, and hope that we pick up on them. It's been amazing.
That's a good title for the movie, Resurrection.
Yeah, that would be an amazing title for the movie. I hope that you're involved in that project. The 13 Hours movie was compelling and chilling, and I still revisit it to this day. We thank you for your work. We thank you for your service, and thank you, Mark. We hope that you're back all the time when we're in our new studio and we have our new systems built. But thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you for having me on, Benny. It's always an honor and a pleasure.
God bless you, Mark. Thank you.
You too. God bless.
Just one of those days, where you just one of those days where you just like kind of, you just keep rolling, right? You just keep rolling with it. You get thrown a couple curveballs and you just keep rocking. Whew, baby. Okay. Building some new systems today after this. What do we say at the start of the show? Blessed are the peacemakers. Bring us peace, Lord, bring us peace. Help us not deliver death and destruction unto this world, but help us deliver a more peaceful world and a world where your life can be, where your life and your creation can flourish. That's why we partner with Preborn, ladies and gentlemen, on this program. Preborn is just one of the most important companies, I think, out there. It's not really a company. It's more like a movement of morality, a movement of dignity, a movement of life. And this incredible organization uses the miracle of ultrasound technology to show young, expectant mothers who may be in dire situations the heartbeat of their newborn baby, the life that is growing inside of them, delivering compassion and love, even starting inside of the womb. And as the scriptures say, I knit you together inside of the womb. Ladies and gentlemen, for just $28, you can provide one ultrasound to an expectant mother. In April alone, potentially 11,000 babies could be saved through the Preborn Network Clinic. Can you help? $140 sponsors 5 ultrasounds for mothers in crisis. Every dollar helps save unborn babies. Share the hope of the gospel. To donate, dial pound 250, say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 or say baby. Visit preborn.com/Benny. That's preborn.com/Benny. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It has been quite a show, and we apologize. Once again, we were planning on announcing this at a different date, but we are moving studios. We are building a brand new studio. We're very, very excited about it. And in that, what happened this morning is in that transition to a new studio, we're swapping out a bunch of equipment, and we had a broken piece of equipment. And so we're sorry for the, again, technical difficulty of the morning. And we'll close it out here with a poll on California election results. What does it look like? Well, you can see that Eric Swalwell has just completely and totally collapsed in the election results, potentially election probability here in California. Yeah, that's pretty bad right there. Whoa. Tom Steyer is skyrocketing up. You have Steve Hilton, get a little bit of a bounce. But yeah, you can see the news of today is critical, reaching critical mass for Eric Swalwell, and boy, a long time coming. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. That is our verse of the day. We hope that it is followed through in the administration. We know there are some rock-ribbed Christians in the administration, and we hope that they heed this message from our Lord and Savior. We pray for our troops and those in harm's way. We thank you for your support and for your constant return to help encourage us and to strengthen us and to bring, ladies and gentlemen, about Christ in this world. And that's really what we're looking for. It's amazing. I said goodbye to my little children. I said goodbye to my little children this morning. And I was really completely and totally and wholly reminded as to why we do all of this. So if there's a glitch or if there's a microphone problem here and there, it really doesn't matter. What we're trying to build and what we're trying to effort is to own Christ's name, and to declare him on this earth, so that he will own us in heaven. I just read the scripture actually last night. I'm reading through the Gospels again. It's amazing how you just keep returning to them. And if you declare me before men, then I will declare you before my Father in heaven, Christ says. And that's what we're trying to build for our children, for God's creation, and here. And so, quite frankly, we give it up to God. We hope for peace this evening. We'll see what happens. It'll be quite a day. Stay tuned and stay with us. March with us on to victory. It is assured for us because Christ is King and risen and alive. It's your boy Benny. See ya.
Hey, guess what day? It's power plant day.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care.
Where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light, bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.